the youth of this nation, NDC all of a sudden, NDC wants to pretend as though we are democratic. If you guys knew just some 30 years down the lane, some 40 years down the lane, the things that your fathers and your mothers went through in the hands of JJ, and then grow for. How does June 4th has a place in a democratic governance? 66 DSC free final kotukadi and then celebrate your money. Instead, says speaker no obey uses her opportunity also who the daughter of a Medra comment who said it. The speaker should have had a great opportunity to speak to the people and say that such comments are not necessary. If we are a nation, we've all agreed. See a bit move on. Have a speaker and say me the daughter of a Medra. Now you are dividing the nation. One more judge and SIB report, Special Investigative Board report to appear in 1988. I know no judge in it. Report when you see it, you'll be amazed. The things that judge did, killing people left, right, center. Almost she a hog your friend say. A print house. Because they didn't want this report to come out. We had moving a frame was Katakyie, but you can't be. I am show. Maybe I will move a Cecilia Quantriado, Justice Cecilia Quantriado, any Quabenet Japan Papa, any a year a Ibakui. Maybe almost she will move. Yes, for so many years, no home. All of us are see a rim feet. And some best celebrate June 4th. Obia no best celebrate June 4th for best I pretend it's a me and come once. Most celebrating what the Becca once. The Becca man for the course. As to whether or not I have a problem with JJ Kumunipano, it is my opinion. Sese Bisebase cool now, yeah, and ya goody. So you need to kill people to survive. Either you kill or you are killed. Because only JJ Yachini Bekuno. But nobody is going to tell us, say. Unti judge ba won komunipa omo epuan ma aledi jiwamo omo puan ma ne yeku wo bo nyum yi bedo me ko medo foot na so akodibu nsan adma ko nyameche o chesi ni out o nyina wo ngwa ma judge be yi o kum bebre aledi jiwamo da o mani omo ba wo chi wo ku omo nyina da yesi judge me yanka e de ba no Captain and Krabby father che oni jeje Rollins ne kwachi mota oni jeje Rollins ne ko military. These are the remarks of a Captain and Krabby father che say when him so no kro obo jeje mani yeku oba ye jeje sa time no omo try first one ye che Captain ko ye yes ye try no e wa bra na lawyer kura ni ho mutin ye can mutin ye che say treason military version of a treason wo ye ni ade no se ye me lawyer wo se o da bi lawyer ni wo kura ye bua no ni ade ni share detention Jeje Rollins by ya so penance mo sa ko yi no beboa ne kakrama ne 1 2 3 wie ye e one was we yi ni free so ade ko share detention for 6 months ono another for on ko achimota and mo se mi yanka e beka Captain and Krabby father teneka ne no asem when you say no say almost said that kum eye general court ane sa papa yon freza Joya Medome almost said that kum notness just because they wanted to balance the act say enya Ashanti fon kwan de ekuno obu there was no crime against him but yes dem kumi nyanga say enya Ashanti fon kwan de ekuno enya kan fon kwan de ekuno in a year JJ Rollins was a fetish priest bi e wo eye voter na woni mo bone me kan bone natural okochi wo me yansa nyina kum mo oman hene mu ade se bi oman hene se no oman hene na busuani e ka revolution ho ana onu se bi no eno ko mo brim no ade ba no mo se mi yankai ya be kai it's more the NDC. Yeah, no more transmographer mo ayi P na free ho. NDC number. And internet the national security coordinator tewa. Ovi? Yes was say make Katakyie. Mako kaso ye joma ma boy. As much as he can obekire me wear power lies. National security coordinator mama he mu kasam chi. Me suro hwenwem. Na me suro wu. Me suro. Na me dro sa akwa na sam so ade wo kan ye ma akwa na betena wo say me no mu nsuo enu me minimum no. Dia mo kan ye mate. And I know Mugabe say we should stop talking about national security coordinator and we'll be Bob Redruce and can say who Mugabe. She says we Steve one day said you was security one was first. Mugabe who could for the Bob Redruce baby would do. And then now can Mamuka can say Munya Botre and can focus on the Mwantrishi. We are season 1 episode 7. We know baby 4 years is a long season. Kano ye koku ye de ko chi nkrofo no koku mo ba abede ka mo no amete ko emu no jeje Rollins ayi so ni nana ko do adwuma Rollins ni fie table ana na keys ni na ka ni so ana o mo say report no say from the inference we can come to the conclusion that the chairman of the PNDC and the wife was in the known, had foreknowledge. You can't foreknowledge, that means they know nim and son of medicine in it. I kidnapping the course of them. Some person about Candia revolution, munya celebrity. We are in a democratic dispensation. Anything that reminds the people of a painful past, we must throw it somewhere. So, other than that, we will continue to let the people know. More fire. What could you pin for the NDC? All of a sudden, as a munya here, what people know. Not necessarily mukumo munya asem ketwa. Yeje wie ya not necessarily mpe na asem no share that day a free holiday for Hajj. Why by? Sa na day ya. Say that kumo mpo. No, when it comes to me, they say as to whether I have a problem with what he did. Nemo mi yanko busa jeje Rollins say. Even innocent people who had nothing to do with the revolution, he killed them. So, when we entire revolution, or my kuomo, yes, we are threatened by any person. Oh, I say, me understand the power dynamics. Power is not a small game, but say innocent people are no when you're threatened by them. Who kuomo? We are normal. Your next topic here, JJ Rollins. So more ye June 4th revolution. Ombe celebrity Kovi. Yet to come 31st December. Case be your friend MPP versus a year age. Ombe celebrity 31st December. Court on can pay. So in a democratic governance, we cannot be celebrating this nonsense. And look at 31st, a bloodless school. I feel all of a sudden, President Kufuaba, what's it that you are mine? A yawum and Kufu people under Jesus Christ. The youth of this nation, NDC all of a sudden, NDC wants to pretend as though we are democratic chain. If you guys knew just some 30 years down the lane, some 40 years down the lane, the things that your fathers and your mothers went through in the hands of JJ, and then the crop for Kenyan somebody NDC, say a year revolution. Yes, celebrated June 4th. Near JJ Rollins, no, I quite know. As an actor Rollins. Now, but see a democracy. How does June 4th has a place in a democratic governance? 66 DSC, free final Kotukadi, and then celebrate your money. Yanyina ni ajatum said ye 79 June 4 and yet 72 yatuaba amabuzia ene adu adakufo ado na ayi a champon what babaji to me from na champon kro bu amamuo papa in 7 to 8 years ono kra dey celebrate more fire yeah Moba 79. Nipe kunkuma. Kobi. Nipe lusu womo lives. Besi edru baby. Na fisher folks. Omuso mu consume a. Omo net no. Echi nipa. Nipa yakuma mo. E wo kase ho. When nyina mran training nim. E maba wani nim. Soja fu a JJ Rollins kumomo obi obatan ya ne batue nufo no ye judge yesi JJ say time o call oba a May 15th ni ade no ye jankrofo wei JJ ave mu nyina si ye nyaka ni yesi yo yate ene ye beja aka ye mamranche ni hu mo tworo curriculum ni history ko ma yi sa ne o ne nyina fu what change no a afi mun come on ntum ye nyina move on abedru ba bi on ba ye na revolution na June 4th na JJ ba no akogino no apagya ne say my father was hey mudi June 4th dia ye be kai manfo ni June 4th yawo if sa dia no amoye no miru akogino yanka ka asem bi instead says speaker no obey uses her opportunity ya also who the daughter of a Medra comment who said it. The speaker should have had a great opportunity to speak to the people and say that such comments are not necessary. If we are a nation, we've all agreed. See a bit move on. Have a speaker and say me the daughter of a Medra. Now you are dividing the nation. Precisely so. So one call head work a year JB down quite traitor dear. And the daughter of a daughter of a Medra. Why is it not true? Say JJ Rollins was a Medra. Is it not true? National Reconciliation Committee report in the kind of findings they had against JJ Rollins. And look at Rebecca Sikufuwa by one no judge and Menoka say SIB report, Special Investigative Board report to appear in 1988 and no judge in it. Report no. When you see it, you'll be amazed. The things that JJ did. Killing people left, right, center. Final report of SIB. This is the investigative. When him says I report 20 coffee, almost she a whole your friend say a print house. Almost she no. Because they didn't want this report to come out. We pay moving a frame was Katakyie but it can't be. I am best show. Nyoma here Kwajuchi Captain Chikata. Any JJ Rollins here in Kuruma. All of a sudden, almost young Kiano too. Mobianka was a fire. Oh, Kumuya Kumonwanga Sanu Crop for Bibri. And no could do what a military a year bondasi, baby Omkoku, judge and any adeno. Never Omuku house. Now, no more call military in Chilima. Who drew an aqua Juadu and Yana was in Krugu. On your my judge, so a batter. Now, and your Muko, or Mumodu Soprano was that, or Muchua, no more Kuno Masho. Baby, our move a Cecilia Quantiado, Justice Cecilia Quantiado, any Quabenet Japan Papa, any a year a Ibakui. Baby, almost she will move. Yes, for so many years, no home. All of us are see a rim feet. And some best celebrity June 4. Obia no best celebrity June 4 for best I pretend it's a me and come once. Most celebrating what the Becca once. The Becca man for the course. In a democratic dispensation, how do we allow this nonsense to fester? President Kufuor or by year National Reconciliation Committee. And was what the Sinina, Mumiana Yanka, the Hawabia report the National Reconciliation Commission report, Volume 1, Executive Summary. You better read some of the executive summary in watch it. And you're my judge Rollins here. You ever could take January Adebuga, Captain Adebuga. One on a judge, you soon no ma, will come probably, and the one in Muton, Adebuga no to a betino. JJ was such a person, said, oh, come ni panokra, what you must more be manako film me, and Brandon what Nakas or one, Niaji, Riadmo. No badges, and he said we shouldn't talk about it. As to whether or not I have a problem with JJ Kumunipano, it is my opinion. Sesebi Sebase cool now ya and ya goody. So you need to kill people to survive. Either you kill or you are killed. Because only JJ ni chini bekuno. But nobody is going to tell us say unti JJ ba won Kumunipa. What say Fidel Castro pepe. Tama Fidel Castro, or year cool first one 1930s movie or Janeko a year Argentina a Mexico or Koshia Ernesto Che Guevara or ni Camilo Fusiangu when him saw almost a boy and be cool said a boachija boy JJ year 79 cool no man or fire a Fidel Castro by or we will come Camilo Fusiangu or come a Ernesto Che Guevara in Bolivia. Yabaka has it. The same strategy na judge nya 79 we use yi omo ebuan ma ale dujiwa mo omo buan ma ne yeku wo bo nyum yi medo me kwa medo food na so akodi gun so adma ko nyameche o chesi ni out o nyina wo ngwa ma judge be yi o kum bebre ale dujiwa mo da o mani omo ba wo chi wo ku o mo nyina da yes judge me yanka e de ba no Commodore your friend say papa ya so akobo bosia 50,000 and nay 5 cedi okuno adiaba no bosia wo akobo bosia wo ye military ye commander no akobo bosia de asidan yeso wa wi o man ni sika jeje Rollins kuno abe yesi me nka wasem yebeka mudi jum fofo yebeka yesi munya adi na munya asemu portrait jeje Rollins wa me ye hwe Captain and Krabby father check. Oni JJ Rollins in the Kwachi motor. Oni JJ Rollins in the co military. These are the remarks of a captain and Krabby father check. Say, When him so no crowd boy JJ Mani Yoku. Or buy ye JJ sa in re Satam no, or try first one, ye Captain Koy, ye see ye try no. Our brana lawyer Craniho. Mutin, ye come mutin, ye just say treason, military version of a treason. War ye near the was any, me lawyer was so that lawyer knew cry, ye one in the initial detention. Jaja Rollins say buy ya swap na asem osa koyi no beboa ne kakrama ne 1 2 3 wie e one was we yi ni free so e dey ko share detention for 6 months ono anadamfo ah ono ne ko achimota and mo se mi yanka e beka captain and crabby father teneka ne no asem ajebe no ya tu kromo asi asojafo abua jeje bebre wo ko mo nyina da wo ko wo mo nyina da all of a sudden, JJ is a hero, the unsung hero. I young can was young can JJ was a General Utukamo, I didn't know ye, General Cote, I didn't know ye, Omian Cano Cre. Eh? Okumia Naminiano, not necessarily near celebrity JJ Kum, not military commanders. Bebre. Eh? When you summon Okase, almost said that Kum a general cote and a Sabbath friends, Joya Medome. Almost said that Kum notness just because they wanted to balance the acts and yes, Antiphon Kwan Yukuno. There was no crime against him. But yes, and Kumi, Yangas and yes, Antiphon Kwan Yukuno, and Yakam Fon Kwan Yukuno. And Okase, Mumusa JJ Rollins a bushia for so Munimua, and I'm going to write my runs. What does it say? Mumusano. A man secretary be near so now was sorry and Opana Castle Saturday what type Captain Crabby father Teneka or type the tinting after been one Saturday and Opana Lord Kotewa Koradianwa yes JJ Rollins in the Moja Jan one is watch anti or cortex what would you ban what you call if you call your man I never know fire for some so yeah some quality Opesi a jai we ni chira. Munyanse hunu ni di. Yanko fire bend them. Yanko ni yanko he NRC report. Page 30 of the National Reconciliation Committee report. Ni yanko de omo kafa jeje o. Obi. Jeje kumya mo no ankasa ni kurumfo. Fetish priest. Okummiansa. Fetish priest mensa. Ba ko ni din de Togbe Akaku ahiaku. With a report of the NRC, and the now you read the report, point 5741. Or say the famous fetish priests from Volta region were abducted and murdered in apparently mysterious circumstances in the early part of 1982. Prior to the carbon copy abduction, murder and burning of the remains of the 3 high court judges and the retired army officer on 30th June 1982. In each case, the charred remains of the victim were found in the bushes a day or two after the abduction. It is the way can I say in a year JJ Rollins was a fetish priest to be a year voter. Now uni momu bone na kind bone natural. Wakwachi wa mi ansa nyina kumomu. O man hine mu ade se bi o man hine se no man hine na busuani e ka revolution ho. Ana onu se bi no. Eno ko mo brim no. Ade ba no. Mo se mi yankai. Ya be kai. JJ Rollins ye ni. And Omoka said the carbon copy style of the way Omudi Kun judges no. Sape pen omo ye ya Omudi Kun sa fetish priest me say. Na ye fetish priest omo ye waya. Ba ku de Togbe Akapo ahiaku. Fetish priest and transport owner popularly known as Yeye Boy of Atijive in the Katakyie district. His crime was that he was suspected to be plotting with others to use juju or fetish to kill the chairman of the NDC. PNDC. In the crime, you say almost suspected say what did you be cool? A JJ Rollins and your coaching now you cool on your share no fire. Dear Benno, of Master saw Yamunia. Eh? One movie, you know, no quantum kuno. Togbe, fetish priest of Ayachiame. Eh? On the 24th of February 1982, by the same Medros gang, the modus operandi was the same, and his body was burnt. Most me yanka wasem cause JJ Rollins mo ba se be kan wasem de munya revolution di mo di e be ka kire manfo Ese mo the PNDC ye no ma transmogrify mo ho ayi P na free ho e de NDC na ba and the national security coordinator tewa obi yes was say make Katakyie makoka so ye dwoma ama boy as much as he can obekire me where power lies national security coordinator ma me he wani muka asem me nsuro hwenwem na me nsuro wu me nsuro na me dro sa akwa na asem so ade wo kan ye ma akwa na betena wo se me no mu nsuro enu me minimum no de mo kan ye mate obi Samson Daniel Kwaw Togbe Kwaku Akwe was arrested 26 February 1982 and taken to the residency extensively to meet Dr. Fiagbe, the regional secretary. He went there, but before that, when him said, "Senya sa papa we ya to Fiagbe ya Dr. Fiagbe, komu kumai heneno." Now yankoni yanko hadi. Oshe eye 0.5749. Was it the first port of call of the hired gang of killers on each occasion was the residence of Dr. Fiagbe, the regional secretary and representative of the PNDC in the Volta region. Indeed, Dr. Fiagbe admitted that he met them. Knowing the sort of person they were dealing with, the murderers showed Dr. Fiagbe little respect. They told him their mission. Powerless, he telephoned Flight Jerry John Rollins to find out if the swaggering band of killers had his authority. Tienye, ono Dr. Fiagbe no. Time wa nkrofo jeje asoma muso munkuku no. Eba ye no. Ofre jeje Rollins say, "San nkrofo wo authority ala." Tientie. Flight Rollins, Lieutenant Rollins told him not to interfere. Tiedi wakayo Jeje Rollins now a year a regional commander of the PNDC no a friend say nkrofobia ba ha omo ekoye nneoma ekokum nipa ne ade do they have the authority or see Jeje Rollins catch and say he shouldn't interfere. Now you heard the report to the kind. Dr. Fiagbe then left them to carry on with their murderous intent. Where the report we was from the evidence abducted adduced before us, we are satisfied that these murders were carried out on the orders of the chairman of the PNDC. Where a report, NRC report. But see this, we moved findings, and Jeje Rollins was there. Yankaya Debako. The only person Dr. Fiagbe was able to save was his uncle, Togbe Adalaja, paramount chief of Anlo, who had also been abducted and brought to Dr. Fiagbe's official residence. He was accused of being in league with the fetish priest. It was fetish priest in New Year. And Togbe Adalaja, paramount chief of Anlo. So we kuna ka ho o de ba Dr. Fiagbe ho no but for the pleas of Dr. Fiagbe the gang would have dealt with him in the same short, sharp and cruel manner. Instead they gave him a severe beatings. Now the report goes on to say the commission finds it surprising and extraordinary that a paramount chief should be subjected to such humiliation by these young men. Jeje Rollins remember mutumia paramount chief of Anglo boy sit me puno Amatekwe wobewo. Jeje Rollins wanted Amatekwe to exonerate them. Eti Amatekwe Jeje Rollins said no we're giving it up, we thrown under the bus. What corner almost say one the report a recorder ekwa say Amatekwe enkase wono na years a crimes ni ade no on his own. Amatekwe is one can no we no can cry and can report on the capture no ha the meaning of a year ni nyina wa ha. Jeje Rollins say no chase Amatekwe is one kasa no wo dimrika je recorder no e de best ne call fan call shooting range and on one call so ko kan say ko Amatekwe anka hwe mo say Jeje Rollins me anka dey na me anka teach them dey na me anka teach them. And now Mugabe say we should stop talking about national security coordinator and we'll be Bob Redrus and Kanwa say who Mugabe. She says we Steve one day we said you was Steve one was first. Mugabe wo ku for the Bob Redrus baby odru and then now kan chena. Mamu kan say munya abotre and can focus on the mo atwishi. We are season 1 episode 7. We no baby 4 years is a long season. And Jeje bi okumunipa. Hey Okumri baba. Yankoni yankohwe SIB report. Yaka SIB a. Tama jeje kun ye judges no. there was a special investigation board where you're setting it up. So we investigated the kidnapping and killing of a specified person. So I report to you. We saw what some of it to I we crame. We intimacy. We crack. National security don't be able to me. Mirror smart, you pay be able to me. And you're national security, but can't get you. And you say behind national security, Yanka, Pasiania, one Yanka. And 5 motions mo. Now, when you're revolution, we mature crata come all the embassies. Said your mobile why? International relations. I will trigger all the protocols because minimum beku. Report no paragraph 21 to paragraph 29. The kind of things in the report you'll be shocked. The Captain Kojochi Katamoye. We under JJ now, 1988. So I report we. On one under JJ. It when yes will be MP before the what kind of report no say? In spite of the evidence that the chairman of the PNDC, Flight Lieutenant Rollins, was a close associate of Captain Amedeka. And again, in spite of the clear evidence that the Fiat Companola, Egypt, which was used in kidnapping, was collected from the house of Mrs. Ajima Rollins. There was no evidence from the inference can be drawn. There was no evidence, but from the inference, it can be drawn that the chairman and his wife had full knowledge of the kidnapping and the murders. We under JJ Rollins. SIB report. On one is you under JJ Rollins. Kano ye koku ye de ko chi nkrofo no koku mu ba abede ka mo no amete ko emu no JJ Rollins ayi so ni na ko do adwuma Rollins ni fie table ana na keys ni bu na ka ni si wo ana mo say report no say from the inference we can come to the conclusion that the chairman of the PNDC and the wife was in the known, had full knowledge. You can't full knowledge, that means they know him and son of medicine in it. I kidnapping. What kind of report now? Dear Captain Kojochi Katakyie, most of the murders were on the orders of Captain Kojochi Kata. Abi yasemianka. Jeje mentor no. Poni ekosunyina. Momi aso kwa didi o. MPP no na jimie ne yetenasia. Yetimi hwe niema na NDC for tag ye. Ne tag ye. Ne akia no yakeka nche any coach here. Fa munsem hunu ne mu coach sem na nsu wa ho. Kokora ni nyina mkope mintra. Ni afa ya nchichire party mu fo. Party ya radicals bebem. Party. Radicals with knowledge. Momi anka no kura nchire yom gobi. JJ Rollins was a murderer today. He was a murderer tomorrow. He was a murderer in the next years to come. Nobody will be allowed to whitewash. You speaker, when your opportunity, unite the nation. Tell them, say where you traitor near the who here, where you murderer near the who here. The kind of things that when people talk about JJ, and they say, yes, a man holding your man. Some person ever candia revolution, munya celebrity. We are in a democratic dispensation. Anything that reminds the people of a painful past, we must throw it somewhere. So, other than that, we will continue to let the people know. More fire. Wako yi pine from the NDC aba. All of that has a munya here. One people man no home. Not necessarily mukum wa munya asem ketwa. Yeje wie ya not necessarily mpena asem no share that day a free holiday for Hajj. Why by. Sa na da ya. She da kum papa. Yanko ni yanko hwe adebuga. JJ Rollins oboa no. Ema ni di bone. Yenti adebuga. Yenti no.
So the point is I feel guilty that innocent people, not only soldiers, the 260 people who got missing, most of them are there and other places which they know. You see, that doesn't mean.
Can you tell me some of the other places?
If you are going to the range, you understand, some of them are there, that Teshi range area. And if you are going to the airport, especially the Air Force boys, they call that place Agege. They were buried there discriminatorily there. You see, those Air Force boys were reckless.
They were buried indiscriminately. And this is a person who was there with JJ Rollins. The course you know Yahweh. Adebuga. One of Buama JJ Yoku. He literally did all the coup for JJ Rollins. Oba o chasing out. Adebuga. O chasing him more only at Makunya Mecha Mukotna. A Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire and Waka Bruchini. And Wakano. They were buried indiscriminately.
He made a mistake and went and shot somebody who was related to Rollins. And then Rollins told me to go and shoot him. And I said, why? What has he done? It's called W2 Kingston or Kingsley. Kingston. So it was one Boachi who went and shot him. Called Boachi of Air Force.
Messi, a man channel. A reggae song was it. Tell the children the truth. Exactly. Tell the children the truth right now. Tell the children the truth. We've been whining on that I'm praised for much too long. Rebel. Ave Nyabotre, Nientie, Daniel, Nyabotre, Nientie or call reconciliation committee. Sako Koko Yamuhuni. One and a JJ Rollins Sumano, a man called Femen Crawford, and the banner JJ Rollins. See a community power and a general.
You have killed some civilians, children, with your mawak. Is that true?
That is wrong.
You have killed a border guard official, isn't that?
That is wrong.
You want to tell this commission you have never killed anybody?
If I've ever killed, then it was sanctioned by your boss, Flight Lieutenant Rollins.
It was what?
It was sanctioned by him.
Sanctioned by
Rollins, Flight Lieutenant Rollins. Let him come here and answer that.
Where from the horse's own mouth, Kobe. Any power what's in our call reconciliation committee. And some of Hokaini. Now, branch and I know Bisano. Say it was cross examination time. Now we're impugning BB on a debuga. Sab debuga Kumunipa. Because it's a Kumunipa. It was sanctioned by your boss, Flight Lieutenant Rollins. Nasa Riyad Nan walk or or no Nane Echo video for the Bama JJ. Before you come. Or show you an Nyaje. No, I say. Get out.
More fire. More fire.
You're more good in a minute. Obviously, you guys don't understand what dictatorship is. No, when it comes to me, they say, as to whether I have a problem with what he did. JJ Rollins say, even innocent people who had nothing to do with the revolution, he killed them.
More fire.
In which entire revolution, yes, we are threatened by any person. What I say? Me understand the power dynamics. Power is not a small game. But say innocent people are not when you're threatened by them. Who are normal? Most you celebrate JJ, we a hero. Now, much me can say we should celebrate JJ because he gave us a year freedom. Nonsense to the highest degree. Nonsense to the highest degree. So it's like what you want. Now, Obiabe for freedom. You can say fundamental human right. These are human rights that are not given. You have to enjoy it. Right to life, right to this, right to that. Fundamental. Not JJ Rollins, but no freedom of movement. Obesizi, or no necessity of freedom. Or we are not so me CZ. No more budget. So, hey, JJ, am I freedom? My Jimmy. Jimmy. No, this man just say, "You are too a bad liman." This man so may you it was season of freedom new year. And was say, "Kakreb mamo." And money J. Say, "Judge, I'm mamu freedom." Oh, mamu freedom say. You people will be uncomfortable, but we don't care.
More fire. So, more fire.
Yami, you judge, and the bush of Famiko court. The mamu may coward in Yamabia. Go to court.
More fire.